Hey, it's Mike Hambright. Welcome back for another exciting Flip Nerd VIP Flip Show. Today I have with me Cristy-Ann Olivares and Jimmy Tu, who are a couple that invest in the Bay Area. And we're going to talk about some of the challenges of investing in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is probably the most competitive marketplace in the country. And some of the lessons that we're going to learn there are about how if you could survive there, you could survive anywhere. So this is really a lesson in how to be successful in real estate investing anywhere in the country. They're also the founders of the San Francisco Bay RIA, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. Before we get started, though, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Jimmy and Christy, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Thanks
How are you guys? Awesome. I'm glad you guys are on. So tell us a little bit about, for those that don't know you, talk a little bit about how you got started in real estate investing. And I already know it's an interesting story. It's like a lot of folks like myself. You leave the corporate world and jump in with both feet and find a way to be successful. But tell us a little bit about each of you guys and how you got started as real estate investors.
Absolutely. You want to go?
Yes.
All right.
So I met Jimmy. This was back in 2007, and one of our passions was real estate investing. So we've found ways how we were trying to find ways how to get started, and Jimmy and I would attend other RIA groups as well. And finally one day he gave me a phone call during his lunch break, and we signed up for the Robert Allen Institute.
Okay. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting story. Actually, Christy was involved with real estate in her early teens as well. So I was working for a broker, I think, when I was pretty young, the tender age of 16, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I was one of the top earners for, I think during the time we would, where the business was, I'd cold call and talk to potential clients that would, we'd get them to refi and, so... Anyways,
you were in the mortgage business. Okay.
Exactly. So beyond that, I didn't really know much about real estate. It was more or less, man, I want to get into it, but I had to have a ton of money to get started, or what my parents would do is just buy the property and rent it out, and that's all I knew.
Yeah.
So it wasn't when until
that was all in the Bay Area.
Yes.
Yes.
All in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And so, it wasn't until, I met this lovely young lady here that, we've always had some sort of drive to say, hey, there's got to be a better way. So, like Christy mentioned, Christy and I, we signed up for a 3-day teaser class. Mm-hmm. And, that was during lunchtime. And, and I came back to the office and, found out that my department wasn't going to be around anymore. So rather than mope about it, I looked at it as an opportunity and said, hey, maybe this is a calling. Let me give this real estate thing a shot. And, went and had some tequila and some drinks later on that day.
Yeah.
And, it was pretty much kind of sink or swim, Mike. I mean, I took the 3-day course, and it really, although they didn't give me everything, all the strategies and such. I mean, it just gave me enough to say, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, I took out whatever I had in my 401k at the time, which was like a 101k. And so, it was really sink or swim, and it was, I have, quite a bit of responsibilities with, being a single child, taking care of my mom, single mom as well. And so, that was the driving force behind us getting into the business.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I've talked about this a number of times, and, for not to rehash my story again, whether you guys know it or not, but a lot of folks that I know that have been successful in real estate came to a point to where failure just was not an option.
Right.
You know, you whether it's you just had a child or a parent, you had to take care of a parent or a spouse or whatever it might be. It's just not an option. And I think the reason that maybe a lot of folks are not successful is they're not backed kind of into a proverbial corner where they don't like their job, but at least seems safe. Seems safe, right? There's no such thing as a safe job anymore, but it's easy for folks to kind of fall back and say, well, I'm comfortable here. At least I don't, there's no perceived risk. But talk a little bit about, some of the things I want to talk to you about is just how challenging it is in the Bay Area to be successful as a real estate investor. Of course, when you get a deal, the deals are some of the highest priced deals in the country, so you have potential to make some very real money. But talk a little bit about, kind of how you overcame some obstacles, had to be successful in probably, the toughest market in the country.
Yeah, I think, when we initially first got started, Mike, one of the things that they taught us how to do was go out and make a bunch of offers on MLS listed properties, right? Yeah. So me not knowing any better, that's what we did. Yeah. And at the time, I was fortunate enough to meet an up-and-coming real estate agent here in the area. And so that's what he bless his heart, he was very patient, and that's what we did. We went out and made hundreds and hundreds of offers. Yeah. So we didn't land anything significant until 6 months later. And as you can imagine, I mean, all sorts of things are going through my head. Yes. Wow, does this stuff even work? It was 6 months in, I haven't found anything yet. We're
running out of his money from 401k.
It's scary times,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I think part of it was we persevered, and we eventually got a lead on a property that was in probate, actually in the Berkeley area. And it was an interesting story. I mean, it was a property that was owned by the guy's mother, and she had passed away, and he was actually a few payments behind. And we'd gone out to the property, looked at it, assessed the repairs. I mean, it was in really bad shape. It needed foundation, pretty much a complete gut job. Yeah. And, we were able to, he actually had a property that he owned in Texas and in the Fort Worth area. So it was just a matter of really, catching up on the payments and making sure everything was on the up and up, and we were able to put together an agreement, and that was our first deal. Yeah. But had we not been persistent or really just kind of hung in there, I could see why a lot of people give up, especially in our market. With so many, with such a high demand, you're competing with other, with the hedge funds guys. You're also competing with the .comers. There's so many people looking for inventory, and there's just not enough of it.
Absolutely. And some of your area is a lot like, there's other areas that are like this, but the areas that were undesirable 10 or 20 years ago are now kind of new again, right? They're hot again. So
yeah, exactly.
So it's just this.
There's actually some parts now that were complete. You wouldn't even want to go there a couple of years ago in the daytime, and they're turning them around, and it's just different demographics of people. Yeah. In a change in the area, people starting to develop, and a lot of changes going on here in the Bay Area.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what I'm hoping to get out of talking with you guys is, I talk to a lot of folks about how to be successful in real estate investing, and it always takes a mindset that you'll do whatever it takes to be successful. I'm going to make this work. Failure's not an option. And I know that is harder in your market than in most markets around the country, but it's difficult everywhere. Right. And so talk a little bit about the mindset that it takes for somebody that, has an interest in getting in. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the late night TV folks talking about it with the TV shows and stuff, they tend to make it look like it's easy.
Right.
Yes. Well,
and you and I both know that it's not. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty difficult. I mean, we're only human. We do have daily rituals. Every morning we come out. We say our daily meditations, our morning meditations, our affirmations, and always give thanks. even when a deal doesn't go through, there's always a lesson learned. Not every deal is a deal, So, and if it doesn't work out, you just have to keep on moving and find the next deal that comes along. You don't want to waste your energy on that deal that's not working and trying to figure it out why it's not working.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think for the most part, Mike, it's like what Christy says. It's just tuning your energies to the right, keeping yourself, in line and grounded. Both Christy and I, we wake up in the morning. We have our routines, which helps us, stay focused and lined and clears us up for the day.
Yes.
And part of it is, and I think that's one of the things that, we've learned from one of our great mentors, Sean Terry, is, having, being in line spiritually,
right.
And giving back,
Yes.
and so I think part of it is that's really important, and just being able to persevere. And like you mentioned, Mike, I think the downfall is, a lot of the people that see the shows on TV, the late night infomercials, you could be a millionaire in a month, and it's just not realistic.
Yes.
And, myself being a coach and mentor as well, I always advocate that the process is simple,
Yes.
but it takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
So, and that's what people, that are looking to get into the business don't realize is it really is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
However, once you kind of get that going and you systemize things, things become a lot easier.
And
But
But it still requires work.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I think they fail to mention that, unfortunately, and people, that get started in some of these programs, they get caught up in the glitz and glamour of, some of the TV shows and, what they see on the infomercials, et cetera. So,
Right. We'll talk a little bit about, one of the challenges I think that a lot of real estate investors have everywhere in the country is people to talk to. The challenge is most real estate investors see everybody as their competition, and so they don't share ideas. And that's why, having a mentor or be a part of a mastermind group, or much more commonly being part of a great RIA club is such an important thing. And I know that you guys ultimately just started your own RIA club, probably maybe because you were one reason or another you decided to start one versus just attend one. But talk a little bit about why you started your RIA club and the importance of, RIA clubs in general for real estate investors that are looking to get started.
Just like you said yourself, Mike, some people don't have experts to talk to, and you can never be successful by yourself. Even when you're constructing a deal, you have your real estate investors, you have your representatives at the title company. So there's everybody working together in order to get a deal done. So the reason why we also started the RIA group is also to help other investors build their own power team and also build relationships as well if they've been in the business for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, Mike, we also wanted to create a different format. Part of which when we were first out getting started was we would attend RIA groups. We would read as much as we can, listen to whatever, constantly staying educated and trying to stay ahead of the curve. And part of it is really surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, people that are out there, movers and shakers as well, and connecting with those people. And, there's a lot of great groups out here in the Bay Area. And we really wanted to create a format that was a little different, that really was geared towards networking and deal making. And, we have a great turnout, just different people in all walks of the business, from title people, agents, real estate, agents, wholesalers, investors, attorneys, contractors, you name it. So it's a great way, really, just to it's almost like a one-stop shop to be able to build your power team, connect with other people that are actually out there doing things. And, it's a different format. And we've gotten a lot of really good positive feedback, from the group. And it constantly and continues to grow to this day. So,
From somebody that has, both attended other groups and then ultimately started your own.
Mhm.
And about how long have you been running your group?
4 years.
4 years. That's great. And about how many members do you have roughly?
Well, on our meetup group, we have over 300,
Mhm.
and then about 15% attend our group
Mhm.
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. So what would you say for folks that, are looking to get started, if they're looking for kind of a RIA club to call their home or whatever, what would you say they should look for in a good RIA club?
I think one that's I guess that provides an education format, but at the same time allows people to connect and share ideas. I think those are some of my top three. If I were to say,
Yes.
Anything you want to add on that?
Yes. Well, if anybody is looking for a RIA group, it depends what they're looking for. If they're looking for more education, normally we don't have that kind of structure. We're not that structural type of RIA group. But I'm not in this business for competition. I'm friends with other RIA founders as well. So I'll even refer them to go to other RIA groups in the Bay Area. But if they're looking to just strictly network and in a casual setting, then they're always welcome to join us. And sometimes I get phone calls from members, and they let me know that they're not able to attend the RIA group for this month. But I always let them know that it's okay. I'm always going to be there for you. We're going to be there for you every month. And anytime you need anything from us, whether it be a real estate attorney or a title company representative, just give me a call. So our RIA members are able to reach out to us even if they're not attending the event.
Yeah, great. So again, given that we talked about a number of things, but what's the overall advice you would give to somebody that is looking to get started in real estate or has started but they're kind of struggling to kind of have the wherewithal and the fire in their belly, and some of the tips that you would give folks to kind of get them realigned, if you will, and focus on the prize?
For the new investors, I would suggest to master one area first, master one niche. Like Jimmy said, you don't get distracted by all the shiny objects. Maybe one day you might be interested in wholesaling, and then another day you might think that rehabbing is just good for you, or you might be interested in just investing in real estate paper.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of mastering one area. If you've been in the business for so long or quite a while, I would say the mindset, that's the most important, to stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for myself, I would say, first off, know your why, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just realize that, you are going to hit bumps on the road, but just take it as a lesson, and I think for the most part, just knowing your why, doing whatever it takes. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds easier said than done at times because, God knows, there were times that I felt like giving up, but, something, I just had that burning why.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something inside me that kept me pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And, just knowing what that is key. It all goes back to mindset, Mike, is, hey, if once you figure out and say, okay, this is the reason why I'm doing it, whether it be, my kids, whether it be, I'm taking care of grandma, or I have a wife, or, whatever your why is.
Right.
Realize what that is, continue to educate yourself, and just go out there and do it.
Absolutely.
You could study all the courses you want, you could, read, but without actually going out and applying the education, it's as good as, the book on the shelf,
Yeah.
So, if there was any advice I'd give to anybody, it's really, knowing your why, going out there and actually applying what you learn, mastering your market and mastering one niche,
Yeah.
So, don't get caught in all the different, strategies and shiny objects out there. Just focus on one thing, get really good at it. And, then at that point, once you've systemized your business and you have that specific area, mastered, then you can start looking at other strategies and,
Yes.
and things.
Sure, and that's great advice. What would you guys say? Because obviously, at some point, you evolved to do some mentoring, to start the RIA Club, things like that. Probably, I'm sure your RIA Club has evolved over time in terms of how you focus. And for me, one of the things that I found was, again, this could be a lonely business if you don't find a way to surround yourself with others, and if you don't find a way to kind of give back and share your knowledge.
Yes.
And you start to, at least for me personally, it helped me. You kind of get to a plateau where at least by most people's definition, you're successful, but internally you maybe start to feel like something's missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
What they think I'm successful, but I don't feel successful. And so you have to find some other way to take it to another level.
Right.
Some people do it to make money, and that becomes their whole business. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Some people do it as a way to find other deals. For me, it's more of a combination of, my mentoring is a business. I have to make money doing it because I have an opportunity cost of what I do with my time. But it provides a level of enrichment to see other people successful based off of you helping them in some way. Sometimes it's a very small way. But talk a little bit about kind of how and when you guys felt like, in order to take it to another level, I need to, share my knowledge or find a way to surround myself with other people.
For me, I think it was when we were first getting started, Mike, when we were going out networking, not everybody had the same mindset. Like you said, Mike, some people have the scarcity mindset of, hey, this is my competition. I mean, go figure it out, and so, but fortunately I was able to meet some really great people as well that, shared everything they knew. And, I think for myself, one of the things, when I've kind of observed that when, going to different groups is, hey, if I ever get to that level where, I have knowledge to be able to pass on to somebody else, I want to be able to do that, because I know how it feels to look for education or look for answers, but, have people turn their back on me. And so I made kind of a subconscious promise to myself that once I had the knowledge to be able to share with somebody else, that I would do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing today. And I find that it enlightens me because, seeing somebody succeed, seeing somebody get their first deal done, seeing their face, when they get the check, and once they realize that it's real. And I can't even describe that feeling, because I remember the feeling when I got my first check, and being able to see somebody's face light up when that happens, and knowing that their lives are changed forever. That means a great deal to me. So
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And
well, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the times that I felt empty inside and not successful, and everybody saw us successful, was when it felt like we were having a drought in our business, where we weren't having deals coming in, and maybe part of it was marketing. We weren't doing enough marketing. However, I also found out about tithing, which is a biblical form where you give 10% of your earnings to your sole purpose, to anything that feeds your soul. It could be your favorite church, your favorite charity, or any angels that come your way. It could be a waitress at a restaurant that's giving you the best customer service ever, and you just want to give them a really big fat tip. And I've learned about it before getting started in the real estate business, but when it took us six months to land our first deal and we got our first paycheck, the first thing we did was spend it, go on vacation. We went to Hawaii, and I forgot about tithing, and we were so happy. And then all of a sudden, things started changing, and now that we apply tithing in our business, and also in our personal life, it really changes everything. Money just flows like energy, and you get back 10 times fold of what you give, but you have to give wholeheartedly without without a grudging heart, because in the beginning I would clench my teeth every time I would give away my check. And it's like I'm still blocking that energy. But now that I apply it wholeheartedly, and I just love giving back. I mean, there's no, it's not fun, being on top by yourself. And like you said, it does get lonely. But if your purpose is also to give back, then it'll definitely fill that hole in your heart.
Yeah, that's great, Christy. I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I think this is one of those businesses where, and when you're able to give back, especially by teaching other people how to do this, real estate is a life. I mean, for people that find a way to make it work, it's a life changer, right? I mean, there are folks that can do far better than they could being an employee of somebody else, and they tend to be big ticket items. So it's life changing moments, and so I think that's what makes it, fun when you can share that with somebody else. So
yes,
absolutely
great. Well, tell us how folks that want to learn more about the San Francisco Bay Area RIA, where do they go to learn more?
Well, they can visit us on meetup.com/SFBAREIA.
Okay.
And just go on, register. You can register for free, and you'll get notifications on our monthly events, and we hope to see you there.
Awesome. We'll add a link down below the video as well. So
okay.
Awesome.
Well, guys, it was a pleasure meeting you today. We definitely appreciate your insights and your experiences, and I think this is going to benefit some other folks from kind of hearing some of your early stories too. So thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Stay in touch. We wish you all the best.
It's an honor.
Oh, thank you guys. Take care.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank
you too.
Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.